Felix Company reports the following information about its sales and cost of sales. So we have each of these periods, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and the units that they sold during those periods and the cost of sales during those periods. So it says here, they give you a hint, draw an estimated line of cost behavior using a scatter diagram. You don't have to do that. We're going to work it another way. Part A, using the high-low method, that's what we're going to use to calculate the variable cost component of the cost of sales. Round your answer to 2 decimal places. Well, these cost of sales are all mixed costs. That is, they have a variable component and they have a fixed component. And we're going to use the high-low method to figure out an approximation of what that variable and fixed component are for each one of these items. So that's part A. So the high-low method says that you take the change in dollars and to divide that by the change in units. So you go to the high point in dollars, which was $7,900. That's the highest cost of goods sold from this list of these 10 pieces. And you compare that to the lowest cost, which was $2,500. And that difference divided by the change in units, that is at the highest point in units, which was also right over here, period 10, 3,600 units, compared to the lowest point in units, which was over here under period 1, 0 units sold. So you'll take the highest minus the lowest change in dollars for the cost of goods sold, which is, in this case, the difference is going to be 5,400, and you divide that by the change in units, which was from 0 to 3,600, or the change was 3,600 units. And what you'll find is if you divide that 3,600 units into the $5,400, the variable cost portion of this will be $1.50 per unit. Now we're ready to go on to the second piece of the high-low method, which is to figure out the fixed component. So we've got the variable component, $1.50 per unit, and now we're going to figure out the fixed component of these mixed costs. Again, a mixed cost is a cost that has both a variable portion and a fixed portion. So down here, let's do the following. We're going to always, with this method, start at the high point. So the high point was $7,900 and 3,600 units. And that mixed cost, which was $7,900, has a variable portion and a fixed portion. So if we know that mixed cost had 3,600 units, then we can say 3,600 units times the $1.50, which is the variable portion, and we'll get the total variable piece that's in this mixed cost, which will be $5,400. And so if this mixed cost has $5,400 worth of variable cost, that's, by the way, that's total variable cost, and the difference between what's the variable piece and the total mixed cost, what's left is fixed, and that'll be the fixed cost piece, which is $2,500. So this high-low method lets you find out from these mixed costs what portion is variable, which would be $1.50 per unit, and it also lets you know what the fixed portion is, which in this case is $2,500. So all of these 10 cost of goods sold, all these cost of goods sold here we have under 10 different periods, their fixed cost was approximated by this high-low method to be $2,500 in every situation, and the rest of it was going to be variable cost.